What's good, everybody? Is when I come back at you another video. So with this video, I wanted to talk about finances, right? Particularly, um, it's tied to like the tariff. I guess the tariffs is what um sparked this idea because if you live here in the United States or probably anywhere in the world, you're hearing that the United States is imposing tariffs on imported products from other countries, and for a lot of people that has gotten them nervous because they're seeing prices of things go up. It's led to them being fearful, anxious, worried, and I'm here to help um, provide you with guidance on how to eventually at some point in the future be able to alleviate, if not entirely eliminate, the financial pressures, the external environment, the financial pressures that stems from your external circumstances, and how to arrive at financial freedom. So this video, this is the topic of this video. The key to financial freedom is through creating your own economy. Now, to make sure we're on the same page, financial freedom is you being financially well off to the point where you can live your life entirely out of your own free will, right? As far as deciding of where it is that you want to live, driving whatever vehicle you want to drive, wearing whatever piece of clothing you want to wear, eating wherever you want, however often you want, traveling wherever it is that you want, staying wherever for however long you want to stay, right? It's basically financial freedom is to the point where money is no longer an object, right? The key to getting to that level of financial freedom is through creating your own economy. Now, creating your own economy, this means you setting up businesses and having systems in place where you're earning money without directly having to work for it, right? So most people, the average person, their only source of income is through their job, through their occupation. And in order to get paid at your job, you have to show up and do your job, right? And that is a rather inefficient way. It's an inefficient way to earn money because your income is contingent on whether or not you're going to show up and actually do a good job, right? If you're able to create businesses or have systems in place that allow you to earn money without you being there, then you can have multiple streams of income coming in, right? And if anything were to happen to those one or two streams of income, you still have other streams of income that will still keep you afloat. This is often why people are afraid of these external circumstances. In this case, right, modern day, we have the tariffs that are going on. They're worried because the prices of things are going up, and for those people who only have their occupation or their job as their only stream of income, right, their chances are it's 99.9% chance that their job isn't going to pay them more to help compensate for the increase in price of things because of tariffs, right? It's like the tariffs are enacted, so the price of things go up, but the amount of money they're making at their job stays the same. And they're also directly trading their time for money, which is why people in this bracket feel as though everything is expensive, because it is, because you're trading your time for the money to be able to buy things, right? So you're essentially trading your time for the products that you're looking to purchase. When you create your own economy, you are able to have investments, you're able to have businesses, you're able to have systems in place where you can earn an income without having to be there, without having to go after or work for the money. This could be investing in stocks, right? Obviously, if you make the right investment, then that investment can lead to a greater pool of income without you having to go in and show up and work, right? If you have online businesses and let's just say they're running ads, right, that can lead to sales. If you're selling like online products, for example, that can lead to sales without you having to actually be behind the computer working towards it, right? If you own real estate property and you rent it out to tenants, that can be a way to bring in income without having to actually go and physically work for it, right? So those are ways to create your own economy. But the other way, the most important way, is by you being a creator right? You being a producer, right? Oftentimes, the people who are just, for most people that, just have the one stream of income from their job, those are generally people who have a consumer mindset. And so the money that comes in from their job often gets spent because of bills, because of expenses, because of like all these things, um, you know, clothes, vacation. So basically, the money that comes in is being spent, and very rarely, if at all, any money that's being spent is going towards building a business or starting something that can potentially create another source of income for them, another stream of income, right? So if money's going in through one way and almost entirely going out through, because of expenses, and that person is going to remain in this cycle. That's why that person is often worried and anxious and afraid of the world events and everything that's happening in the world, because they already believe everything's expensive, but they're also afraid of any changes that happen because it can drastically impact their life. And that's because this person only has one stream of income, which is their job, and they have to show up and physically be there for the job. If you work towards being a producer or a creator, right? Creating products, creating services, creating things that can deliver value to other people. That is how you can offer other people products. That is how you can potentially be able to create another stream of income or have a system in place that can generate you income without you having to be there, having to work for it. And then when you have systems like that in place, you become less and less worried, if eventually to the point where you're not worried of the external set of circumstances, because you understand if anything were to happen to one stream of income, you still have the others. Or if anything were to happen, you're not really going to get affected by it because you've created your own economy. And this is the major mindset shift that you want to have. You want to begin taking the appropriate steps to separate yourself from being a consumer, right? Which that's how most people were trained. It's like when you get money, when you get paid, you got to spend it. You got to get the new iPhone. You got to get the new luxury Louis Vuitton shirt for $400. You got to get the new pair of Jordans. You got to, rather than taking that money that would have been spent and putting it towards a business or putting it towards creating a system that can potentially help pay you later on, right? You want to get to the point where you have your money working for you, because then if your money's working for you, then you're not working for it. And that is how people are able to eventually become rich and wealthy and create wealth and generate wealth, right? Because they have a system in place that will allow money to continue flowing. That's because they're producing products or they're creating offers that they can offer to other people in exchange for money. So these are businesses that, there isn't any cap on how much can be earned at once, right? It's like, for example, if I'm Coca-Cola, right? There's millions, if not billions of people who purchase Coca-Cola each and every day, right? Like there's no cap on the sales. And so that's how Coca-Cola is able to remain relevant, able to be a massive company, because the product is available everywhere and there's no cap on how much of it can be sold in a day, right? Like when you remain as a consumer with just having a job, there's a certain amount of hours that you can work because you're human. At some point you get tired, right? At some point you get burnt out, right? Like that is an inefficient way to earn money, right? A better way would be to set up a system so that you don't have to work for it. And that is how you work towards financial freedom, where you can eventually begin buying your time back and begin living the life that you want, doing the things that you want to do, right? And that's with creating your own economy. If I'm constantly building something, right, building a system in place, right, and I'm constantly providing value to people nonstop, then eventually those same people that I'm offering them value, they will want to do business with me, right? Say they may want to continue learning the information that I've learned, or they want to continue, picking my brain and asking me questions and all these things, right? Like if you're able to offer value to people, then they will want to eventually do business with you. They will want to eventually trade their money for your knowledge or for your services, right? But if you're not offering anything to anyone because you're not a producer, you're just a consumer, then you're just spending all of your money for products that are most likely not going to generate you anything in return, right? I would much rather invest my money towards to make other investments or to work towards building systems so that even if I may not be paid upfront with these business systems, that I have to work and build a foundation over time, but have it pay me for the rest of my life on the tail end. I would much rather do that, because then I've created a system where now things are going to be taken care of on its own time, that I'll be able to be compensated without having to physically show up and physically work each and every time I want to get paid, right? And this is something that can be passed along to the next generation, right? So it's thinking of the long-term game, is thinking about wanting something that can, creating something so that I can have an asset that I own and that I can pass down to future generations. So then my next generation won't start off at zero. They'll have something to begin with, right? They'll have something to continue building off of. And that is the goal. That is how you achieve financial freedom, right? You want to be able to create your own economy, and you do this by providing value to other people, right? Because if I'm giving you so much value and you know it's very rare for you to find this anywhere else, you're going to want to come to me, right? Because I have something that is important to you, something that you would want, right? And most people don't ever know that they're valuable themselves. That most people, the average person truly believes that they can't offer anything to anyone. They truly believe that. But if you just were to invest in yourself, invest in your mind, you would soon realize that you can offer the world to the world, that you can offer something, you can create something that has never been seen before. And that alone is a gold mine, that you are your own gold mine, right? You have the power to create your own economy because you can create something that hasn't been seen before. You can provide so much value to people all around the world that they will want to do business with you, right? And then you don't ever need to have a boss or someone that you have to get permission for to do things, right? You deserve to live your life free. You deserve to live your life on your own terms, choosing where you want to live, where you want to eat, wherever it is you want to travel. You deserve all of it. You deserve to not have to worry about finances, right? Because we are greater than our situation, right? We are worth more than all the money in the planet. And because why? Because money can always be printed. And right now, money's digital. So it's just a number on the screen, right? We, on the other hand, we're one of one. So you will never find another perfect identical copy of me. That doesn't happen. It's never happened, and it will never happen. And that's the same with you. So you are rare, right? And so when you able to invest in yourself, when you learn about the truth and your power and what you're capable of, that's when you realize that you're actually valuable and that you have the power to create your own economy. And if you've created your own economy, right, where you're creating products, you're creating value, which, and effectively you're creating wealth, right? When you do that, that's you're creating your own economy. You're not worried about the external circumstances no more. It does not affect you anymore, because the circumstances that exist, it's not going to influence or change what you have going on, because you can build something that's so powerful. You can set a foundation that's so deep that's not going to be moved by anything. So that is the secret. That is how you get there. And we'll eventually get there, right? We'll be there in due time. So no reason to be worried or concerned. I just want to share this video with you guys to help plant that seed, right, of trying to do the right things or making the appropriate decisions to get where it is that you want to go, right? And beginning to build something now, something that you can pass along to future generations, something that you can build where the foundation is set and it becomes unshakable and unbreakable. And then at that point, you're just having fun because you're living life on your own terms and you're no longer working for money, right? You're allowing your money to work for you, and all you're doing is creating value and having fun, and the rest of the details, right, the finance, everything are just all going to flow. So that rest of the video. Enjoy the video. Do leave a like and subscribe as we are on the road to 100 subscribers, guys. So once again, it's Joel, and I'm out. See you guys in the next video.